Go with Rob. Rob himself.
Rob himself, Jedi fan.
Oh, Bernie.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
Glad it's not. I was worried who it was going to be in the picture, but thank God it's not Bernie.
But yeah, I just want to say first of all, pre-ordered. Time is running out.
I
Really
saw that.
excited
Thank
for that.
you.
I'm really excited to see actually that unaired documentary pilot.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see that.
Well, it's not like super long or whatever, but it is kind of neat. Like,
I hope nobody really gets their hopes high for it.
it's not like it's 2 hours or anything.
No.
But, no, it's short, but it's just a little, it's behind the scenes and us talking about it and things that we do, and I don't know, it's kind of interesting.
Cool. But my question tonight is, we're coming up on Halloween, and I guess, what is a movie you guys all enjoy like watching around this time of year? What's your favorite movie to watch around Halloween time?
You know what? That's funny you mentioned that. Last night I popped it in because it's finally. I'm now starting to feel it because my work is kind of winding up on this Blu-ray. I'm actually like home for once.
Spooky House?
Spooky House. Gotta go Spooky House. Haunted House. No, what was with the Wayans brothers?
A haunted house.
A Haunted House. No, for me, only game in town. Well, there's two. I'll explain. The Shining.
That's mine.
I popped that in last night, and it was like, now 'tis the season. The Shining is the big one. But the other one for me, I don't qualify it as horror, but scary movie that I play around this time is Poltergeist. And I want to tell everyone out there just real quick, so not to derail, but my big obsession right now, the big kick I've been on, is last year it was conspiracy theories on The Shining.
Yeah.
Is it really about how Kubrick faked the moon landing and all that stuff? This year, the conspiracy theories about Poltergeist in the form of, did Spielberg direct this movie? There is serious.
Really?
There is serious
Originally,
evidence.
it was supposed to be Toby Hooper.
Well, he is credited as the director. He is, he was the chosen director.
Who's Toby Hooper?
He made Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Exactly.
Did not know that.
And he's credited as director and all that stuff, and all the press stuff is like, directed by him, whatever. But it's a story by Spielberg. Spielberg came up with that and wrote it. And it's one of the only times he did that and let another director do it. Because afterwards he said, I'll never do that again. Like, if I came up with a story, I'm going to direct it. Yeah. But there are so many accounts and, there's the producers are all, Spielberg gave his advice and da-da-da-da-da. Then lower people on the chain say Spielberg was getting so pissed off with how bad it was coming out that he took over. I never even saw Toby Hooper. I only saw Spielberg. I only worked with Spielberg. Spielberg was the one that showed up to when we were making props, whatever. The composer of the movie said, I only talked to Spielberg. I didn't talk to anybody else. I always talk with the director.
Really? I've never heard
all
of
these people are saying that he directed it, and even who have chimed in, big directors today, have chimed in saying, if you watch that movie, all the shots are Spielberg.
Hey,
like the push-ins, the classic Spielberg, just the way the camera moves, all that stuff. All these directors are like, that is Spielberg.
Honestly,
stuff.
I didn't know who directed that movie.
Yeah.
I always thought it was Spielberg.
Yeah, well,
I'm dead serious.
Well, it's got his name.
I didn't know.
It's got his name all over it. But what people are saying is, it's like, why wouldn't he just say it if he did, whatever? And they said that. It's kind of a fuck you to that Toby Hooper guy. What they said, and even Spielberg said this in an interview, that Toby guy wasn't a strong presence on set. They put him there because, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, he could do it. Oh yeah, bigger horror movie, whatever. And that he was on set just kind of going, well, what do you want to do? Spielberg, what do you want to do? And that he didn't have a commanding presence and wasn't getting anything done. So it kind of makes him look shitty if Spielberg says, I had to fucking take over. But what other people are saying, in addition to that, is he, at the time, 5 weeks later, he shot E.T. and was not allowed to do any other movie for a different studio, and it would have been a guild issue and all this stuff. And that basically he's trying to cover that up, that he had to take the reins on that movie.
Oh, weird.
So anyway, read up on all that stuff. It's super interesting. It's really, really... There's so many different accounts of behind the scenes on that movie.
Well, there you go.
So
Who else
those are my
I
choices.
watched The Shining and Psycho. They're not very scary, so I watch those.
I never think about Psycho in terms of a Halloween
No, I
time.
love it for Halloween.
I watched Shame. I watched Nymphomaniac, Secretary.
Sex crimes.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
I actually pulled out all my Halloween movies for October, and so far I've watched Cabin Fever, The Sixth Sense, Silence of the Lambs, and Panic Room, which was just more like watching a sequel to Silence of the Lambs.
Was it?
Not really, but I was watching with a group of people, just like we were watching Silence of the Lambs, and it was like, this kind of fits into a horror, but also a suspense movie, and then that segued into, let's watch another suspense movie, which was Panic Room. Not my favorite David Fincher movie.
Mine either.
But,
I didn't even know that was David Fincher.
yeah.
I have seen a David Fincher movie then, before Fight Club.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
there you go. My favorite movie to recommend to people, because it's a little bit off the radar, underrated movie, is the Wes Craven movie, The People Under the Stairs. Just
yeah.
awesome.
I still haven't stopped to watch that.
Yeah,
You told me
nobody's
about that
nobody's
forever ago.
fucking seen it.
Is that on Netflix?
I'm not sure, but check it out. If you haven't seen The People Under the Stairs, it's awesome.
I have seen that.
Yeah, it's
Good.
great. It's really entertaining in like a Goonies kind of way.
It's almost like Home Alone-y.
Yeah, it's like a horror adventure. Like a little
Yeah.
kid is trapped in a haunted house, basically.
Yeah.
People Under the Stairs. I like it.
But if I had to pick one, it always comes down to The Shining.
Shining,
Around this time,
Yeah.
I always want to watch that.
They mentioned The Craft in the chat. That to me is the ultimate 90s movie.
Yeah.
You can't get more 90s than The Craft.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
point to Go for that.
No,
Ultimate
I think
90s.
Go,
I think
that's a late 90s,
I
like-
think Go gets that award.
And
Well, Life Begins at 12 a.m.
I'm a big fan of the Halloween movies, so I'll say really quickly.
Oh yeah.
The first one is my favorite. Controversial statement. My second favorite Halloween, Halloween 5.
Which one's that?
Halloween 5 is
two
the
up.
one before Halloween 6.
Oh, did you know that?
Car.
Dumbass. No. Halloween. Here's the Halloween story. The first one's awesome. The second one is a sequel that takes place directly after the events of the first movie on the same night. The same Halloween. It's not that great, in my opinion. The third Halloween movie has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's about witches.
What?
Don't bother. Disqualified. The fourth one, Michael Myers is back and he's stalking a little girl who you find out is related to him. It's really good. It's like a throwback to the first movie, and then the fifth one is more of that. He's stalking that girl again, but it's really like artistic and cinematic, and that's why it's my second favorite.
It's interesting.
Check it out.
I know we've talked about this before. I know that you really like the Friday the 13th franchise.
Yes.
Can you name from like your favorite to least favorite what they are?
Yeah.
What are they?
Yeah. I had this list like jam-packed, locked into my brain a few years ago,
I
but I would say
remember, yeah.
my favorite Friday the 13th movie is number 7. That's the one where Tina uses psychic powers to battle Jason.
Oh, yeah.
This is the best Friday the 13th. If you've never seen Friday the 13th, start with part 7. Fucking start with part 7. That's all you need to know.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Is it more about that?
Second best, part 6.
Huh.
Hey, part 6 was great, and then they topped it. So part 6 is awesome. After that, I would say Halloween 4, the final chapter. It's the one where they kill Jason.
Yeah, that's the last one.
He comes back. So 7, 6, 4. Then I got to go Halloween 8. Jason Takes Manhattan.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, sorry. Friday the 13th, 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Little bit campy, but you know what? I just really have to appreciate at this point, it's pure 80s schlock. Somebody's playing an electric guitar and he steals it from them and hits them in the face with it.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, Halloween, fucking Friday the 13th, 8, Jason Takes Manhattan is probably the funniest / most entertaining Friday the 13th. And then I have to go 1, the original, which is pretty good, just a little bit dated.
Yeah, I didn't like one that much.
It's a good slasher movie, but it's low budget. It's the first one in the series, so they didn't have a clear direction about where they wanted to take it.
Yeah.
But it's still a successful horror movie, and it spawned
Yeah.
10 sequels, so it's still good.
When they cut the snake's head off and they really do it, I get like skeeved. That
Really?
freaks me out. Yeah, I don't like that.
Fucking...
And then Friday the 13th, part 3 in 3D. If nothing else, Jason gets his fucking iconic hockey mask, and you get to see eyeballs like pop out at the screen in really bad 3D. I keep saying Halloween, but these are all Friday the 13th. And then Friday the 13th, part 2, the worst one. Highest body count in the series, but worst storytelling and
Really?
the least scariest
which
one.
part?
Part 2.
What about the one in space? The space
That's Jason X.
Jason X outside of the Friday the
Oh,
13th.
okay.
Yeah, those actually,
Canon.
the 8 that I just named were done by the original studio, New Line Cinema,
Right.
and then all the other ones
Oh.
after Part 8 were done by a different studio. But if I was going to rank those, Jason X is awesome, and then Freddy versus Jason, and then Jason Goes to Hell, and then the Friday the 13th remake.
I love that. I love that you have a list of favorite Friday the 13th movies.
There you go.
And you have reasons.
Yep.
It's
Are
great.
the Nightmare on Elm Street's not good? Are they?
Here, no, they're not really good because they are very surreal because it's all about dream stuff,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
were done so long ago, you can't watch them now and take them seriously.
Because I
Right.
thought there was stuff in the first one that I think is neat now.
They're
like-
entertaining. You'll like the movies for the stories, and you'll appreciate it as a timepiece, but you won't be
Yeah.
scared.
No, yeah.
And the parts that are like mind blowing are going to be less mind blowing.
I asked because Amazon, it was like $20 for like every single one or something like that the other day, and I was like, is that worth that?
I'm a Friday and Halloween fan. Freddy Krueger comes third on the list. McDaddy Fatsack says, but superhero movies suck for being unoriginal. Yeah. I just listed movies that came out 20 to 30 years ago. So, yeah, they might be unoriginal.
Hey, Derek, I get the same exact thing when I bring up the superhero movie thing, and they go, but you like Power Rangers. Yeah, that show in 93 was, it was good.
I love it.
So, yeah,
That's great.
there you go. I love horror movies. Talk about this all night.
I am the opposite.
I love horror
I
movies.
know, like,
Yeah.
The only horror movies.
Yeah,
that-
I'm not a
with
horror
Aaron.
fan, but
The only horror movies that legitimately scary are like found footage films or psychological things. Slashers don't scare me at all.
Slashers are.
But
they're fun to me.
They're fun to
I'll
watch.
watch
and
them
I love
for
them,
fun,
but
yeah.
they don't scare me.
What's the one where the girl shouldn't pick up the phone?
Don't pick up the
Don't
phone.
pick up the phone.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When a stranger calls.
Yeah, it's called What a Stranger
That's
Calls.
what it was. It was okay. So Arthur, my fucking kooky friend Arthur, he's like, yeah, man, I want to watch Don't Pick Up the Phone. What is that? The one where the girl, someone's calling and like she shouldn't pick up the phone.
When a
When
stranger,
a stranger
calls.
calls,
That-
yeah, fucking don't pick up the phone.
That idea is so scary to me.
Wow.
That's so scary.
What?
That movie.
There's someone inside the house.
Yeah.
The house is so big.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's that because
Uh,
it's like when you hear the news story that some guy finds that someone
We've
was living
talked
in his
about this, yeah.
basement or
Yeah.
attic for like a year. That's terrifying.
The original When a Stranger Calls, that first half hour is one of the best in terms of scary movie, whatever. This is one of the best.
That's why when they
Portions
remade it,
ever
they
made.
made that the whole movie.
Yeah, that stretch out to 2 hours. That movie is incredible though because that first opening thing is so terrifying, and then the cops get involved,
Yeah.
and it becomes like a cat and mouse like thriller. It's like, oh no, I'm good.
I don't think slasher movies are necessarily, especially specifically Friday the 13th, they're not the scariest movies in the world, but I watched them when I was really little.
Yeah.
So to a 4 or 5 year old, they
Yeah.
are the
Oh,
scariest
they were
thing
the
in the
scariest
world.
thing in the world. as a kid, yeah.
A guy is going to come into your house and stab you in the head, and there's literally nothing you can do to stop him. So they were scary, and now I watch them kind of just out of this nostalgia joy. They remind me of like the campy 80s, this forgotten time. That's why I like them. Halloween though, those are legit. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Somebody asked
I
in the
wasn't
chat.
really into that.
The original, I like it. It's very scary, but it's also part of its scariness is from how rough it is. Like you said, Kevin, that's almost like a found footage slasher movie.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
So parts of it are dated and like, this is hard to watch because this is like dated and poorly made. But other parts are seriously scary because it's dated and poorly made.
Because of that, exactly,
It
yeah.
creeps you out.
There you have it.
there you go.
Well, thanks, guys. Those are some really great answers.
Yeah, no
That's-
problem.
That was a good
what we're-
question.
We're paid to do.
I guess just quickly for like a movie that I always love watching around Halloween time is called The Haunting. Have you guys ever heard of that movie?
I have
I've heard of The Haunting. I've never seen it though.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
on in
it-
theaters.
Yeah, it came out in like 1963, and then it got
Never mind.
remade in like
I
the
think it's a movie.
90s.
It got remade.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really scary. It's very psychological. So Kevin, you probably would be into it, and it's definitely my type of horror. It's really great. That and like you said, Derek, the original Halloween, I'm a big fan of. So
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that movie, specifically the original Halloween, gets enough credit for how good it is and how it basically like kicked off the slasher genre for the 80s. because it came out
Oh,
in the
yeah.
late 70s.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
interesting.
So it's pretty underrated in my opinion. So yeah,
Cool.
good movie. All right, man.
Absolutely.
well, thanks to your call. That was
Thank you.
That was
Very
good
good call,
Good
yeah.
call. 15-minute talk about horror movies.